Well, slightly earlier this week, because we've got things to do. Obviously, tomorrow we'll plug it right now. Plug it nice and early. 10:20 a.m. is when we're going to start our watch along. It's going to be me and Cam for the day. We're going to bring people in, have a good time, have some beverages starting at 10 a.m. I'm too old for this, but we're going to move. Anyway, it's going to be a quick one today because obviously we've got the 3 championship games happening tomorrow. We've got the 2. We know who the finalists are going to be for the Northern Conference Cup and the Southern Conference Cup in Div 2. Going to go through their games as well, and I'm sure that hopefully we won't be joined by any of those Plymouth Blitz ruining my Sunday. But even still, Teb's here with Cam and Jamie. Yeah, I mean, can you believe it's almost at an end? We've only got one more rundown after this. You ready? You ready for it all to end?
I'm not ready, no, because that means that we're gonna have to wait so long to see QMBL get
No.
battered once again.
Right. Let's just go straight into it. We're going to do the reviews first. So, the score lines for this week in the South, OBU beat QMBL 42-0. Plymouth beat Sussex 21-6. In the North, Derby beat Edgehill 40-0. And the Sabres, in a bit of a shorter, more worrying scoreline here, beat the York Centurions 16-10. What do you want to say to QMBL, Jamie?
Fuck 'em. Feed 'em rice. I've never been so happy to see a score. Ooh, Billy Big Bollocks. Ooh, you got a prediction right. I've actually got about fucking 80 right. Fucking idiots.
I mean, that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I will say that Jane.
I got more predictions right in that game than they scored points.
um, so again, this is another thing we can plug. Next week is the third rundown awards, and we've got a beef of the year category. And one of those nominees is Jamie versus QMBL, which memorialised the beef. I think Cam's got one as well versus Ed Chill. And I think I'm going to change mine because it was Durham, but I think over the last few days we should probably give it to the Plymouth Blitz after ruining everything. But I mean, looking at these score lines, looking at who's gone through, are we surprised? Obviously, as much as I want to joke about the Plymouth Blitz and everything, I genuinely did see the Sussex Saxons taking that. Um, so I am surprised that the Plymouth Blitz did manage to beat them, and not by a single score, not by a field goal, not by a short score. Plymouth Blitz have done it. They'll be facing off with Oxford Brooks, and we are live streaming that one as well. So just so you know, but is anyone really surprised here? We've got Derby versus Sheffield. That was sort of expected, I feel. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
again, I didn't see Plymouth going all the way to the finals. Again, they can rag on me all they want, but I really, really didn't. I thought that we'd obviously Kingston sort of, you know, went up and down. I thought it was going to be a Kingston OBU final, but Kingston losing out in the first round to I think it was Sussex. Yeah, I'm I'm surprised by the Plymouth Blitz is inclusion, which is why I'm happy that OBU are letting me come down and stream that game on the 30th, not on the 24th like I originally thought, because I just thought championship, just have a whole week of championship games. Mother's Day, you don't have to play a game on Mother's Day. You can go and spend it with your mum. No, instead, your mum will probably be going, "Oh, I wish my child was here." But instead, we're going to watch Thames on a live stream talk about my child winning the Southern Conference Cup. That's what it'll be. So, I mean, Div 2 wise, you know, we don't get Sussex having the opportunity to do a Liverpool and not winning, not gaining promotion, but still winning the Conference Cup. So everyone who is in their respective are going up. I think after this performance this week, you have to really give the edge to the Derby Braves over the Sheffield Sabres. Yeah, would you say that's fair? I mean, 6 points to York. York have looked good, but for me personally, that scoreline is too big. And truthfully, you could say the exact same for Oxford Brooks beating QMBL 42-0. I mean, it looks as though Oxford Books are just that step ahead. While Plymouth 6 points still, but again, massive scorelines. These 40-point massive scorelines. We will sort of touch on Div 2 next week. But again, it's more for the rundown awards next week. It's weird because I'm frozen I'm frozen up here.
Oh yeah, he is frozen. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I am frozen. Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can still hear you.
Oh, you can still hear me. Oh, that's fine then. No, you
Just
don't
a
need to.
picture of Tebs.
Yeah, not looking great. Hairline on awful mode.
It's not the best angle.
Yeah. Well, mate, do the Div 2 South winners play the Div 2 North winners? No, they don't. But I'm sure that they will want to play each other because that happens every single year.
And then they won't organise it.
I heard a rumor that Steve's going to fund it.
No.
With all
No.
with all the money he's getting from all the engagement in the comments
No.
from
Um,
Warwick.
My camera just
No,
not working.
Yeah, I think your camera's kicked it.
Oh, my
No,
camera's
I mean, that's the thing. They can organise it themselves, but they won't.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where
So-
like you'd have to find a neutral venue. Like don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money for. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it would be a good game no matter what it is. Like probably like OBU and
Maybe Derby would be a really good game.
exactly. But like unless like they find a neutral venue, like don't get me wrong, I'd love to be able to say, oh, it's the Sport Tank Bowl, but it's just not feasible.
Yeah, Sport Tank Bowl. Play it on some like random field somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's entertaining me, just while you sort your camera out. Leicester's post today about Varsity. I know we don't talk about Varsity, but
They're
that's
really
incredible.
butthurt.
And the
They're
absolute they are so annoyed.
thing is,
They dare to say that they took our winning streak. It's like,
I
oh my days.
kind of get where they're coming from because it was sort of the same thing when DMU pulled out their game against us, and then obviously they still played a full game against another affiliate club, but like, come on, you can't be that butthurt over a fucking Varsity fixture. It's not the end of the world, really, is it? It's
I think it might. I mean, if you look at like some of the regular season games between like DMU and Leicester, I remember DMU took one off Leicester when they were like gunning for the undefeated season. But
yeah.
I mean, like I think Cam, this better than most. Is like DMU haven't had an amazing run of things being able to sort out games this year.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know DMU's kind of situation, but going into the league, I think they had the same amount of players registered as Lincoln, which was joint second highest at like 52. So obviously at the start of the year, they had a lot of players. Loads of things can happen. And I'm not kind of claiming that they had all these players for the entire year, injuries, people quitting, all that sort of thing. Especially, when the team's not performing well, people quit. Like, it's just how it is. But it does seem a little bit disingenuous to cancel your league fixtures, still play an affiliate team that you think you can beat.
Yeah. Okay.
Not play Varsity.
Okay. And don't get me wrong, like as far as I'm concerned, like big up to Salford for being able to get their games played. They've got one against even Salford. They've got their Varsity. They're playing University of Chester.
Yeah.
Both teams that will be trying to come back into the league, which I think is quite interesting.
Also, it's weird to note that they cancelled their game against us, but then played ARU, a team that they beat, that they thought they could beat, and then cancelled their game against Derby at half time when they were losing. So it's a bit of a weird situation. Obviously,
it is a weird one, like because I
you
know
don't want to say. You know what I mean? You don't want to say that they're purposely pulling out of games that they know they're going to lose.
For me,
it almost feels like it.
What's strange is like I remember when I was at Gloss, Worcester didn't play the whole season. They had a season out, but they still played Varsity. Like it was again. It's just different. It's just looking at how
practice.
Different. What is?
Well, if you're playing an affiliate game, you might as well play Varsity. They're on the same level at that point. Is what I'm saying.
But this is what I mean. It's like different universities and different teams and different coaching stuffs see Varsity in completely different lights. Whether it be, they see it as very important or not important at all. It's just an exhibition game for
Yeah,
Everton. But I do sort of get what you mean in the sense of, you're playing Salford in an exhibition game, whilst more important for Salford than DMU,
yeah,
that they'll play that, but not this one. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I mean. It's just a weird thing to claim that you don't have enough players to do, when, as Leicester kind of said, it's provable that you have enough players to play your fixtures. But
Well,
nothing you can really do about it.
no.
So
Yeah,
it's not like it's a punishable thing, is it? Oh, I don't want to
yeah.
play varsity. Okay.
Well, it's one of those things where we're in varsity season now, and maybe one day I'll stream a varsity game if I've got the time. But it's
There's
more
not
so, it's
many good varsities though. There's a few. Don't get me wrong.
it's
I
more
imagine
it's
York Lancaster's pretty good. I imagine like your Oxford Cambridge one's fairly good.
no.
No, not
No.
the game, but I mean the actual atmosphere.
Oh, the
Yeah, actually
atmosphere,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I meant the
Like
atmosphere, not the quality of football.
the thing is though is like what I really need is I need to like actually make a list of like who plays who and what games are interesting.
I think
Like,
Lancaster York's probably the best one. War of the
well, the thing
Roses.
is, you said the problem is like you've got ones like UCL and Kent, which sorry,
No, that's
UCL and
quite good.
UCL and KCL, but they've already played each other twice.
Yeah,
So what
your
would
ones
make
that
for an
don't
interesting
play.
fixture would really, yeah, you want in the division ones because like what is it, Cardiff and Swansea. Yeah.
That's
Like
gonna
a
be.
few, like a few
Ah,
years like a few years ago when like Swansea were riding high and Cardiff were on the downswing, that was a good game, you know. But
yeah.
Absolute Aberystwyth and Bangor. Don't forget about Aberystwyth and
It's
Bangor.
back. It's back. Chester Salford's
Banger are so back.
Chester versus Salford's like the weirdest varsity matchup. Uh, Strange to me. There's some really weird varsity matchups. Like there's some universities that play each other and they're really far away. And I was just like,
Yeah,
what's the point?
I mean, I'm trying to think of some proper rogue ones, but like again, I just don't know the full aspect of it.
Because there's a bunch where you'd think like, oh, it will be the two unis in the city, and it's not the two unis in the
No,
city. It's that uni and some random like fucking uni 65 miles away because the other
yeah.
uni didn't exist before. So
Could you imagine the Lincoln BGU varsity?
rumor is Swansea won't
Yeah,
field a varsity team. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't really blame them. It's
yeah. I mean,
like who do Plymouth play? Like, do Plymouth play Bournemouth? Because
oh
that'd be a
gosh,
great varsity game.
no, it's Bournemouth. Get this, Bournemouth play Southampton Solent. Yeah, yeah. I don't know who Plymouth play. I bet Plymouth's one's pretty decent.
Well, it must be a uni fairly far away then. Is it Exeter?
Well, it might be Exeter. I don't know this. I need to like genuinely make a note of like who is your varsity opponent. Um, I mean, why are we talking about varsity?
Because you were
What?
Huh?
sorting your camera out, so I thought I'd start a new conversation
No,
Okay,
whilst
that's
we're waiting.
it's University of Plymouth versus Plymouth Margin.
oh, then they won't play it. Yeah, Marjon won't have
Is
an
that like
American team.
would that be like if Lincoln's varsity was against BGU?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, yeah, great.
Basically, yeah. So, I mean, off of the topic of varsity, we've obviously got the three championship games. And I know I'm saying the three championship games, but that's because Div 2 is played on a different day. No, here we go. No Plymouth Varsity, the other uni in Plymouth Marshall don't have a team. Yeah, I thought as much. Yeah, we got three big games tomorrow, if you haven't heard. We're going to start D1. It's the Mustangs versus the Burners. I mean, both teams, very good. It's going to be an offensive. Both teams are very well rounded, right? But I'm starting to get that feeling that Tom from the Burners said, we the Mustangs are like levels above that you don't really see, and I don't know. I think I'm sort of trying to get the feeling Derby versus Hearts. Is it? I mean,
That's a
surely,
weird one.
surely not. But okay, but Brunel versus Northumbria. It's going to be a great game. Both teams on a roll. The only thing is obviously with Northumbria they're not undefeated. Brunel are going in trying to keep that undefeated streak alive. Um, and win a championship is quite early. Obviously, the reason why SJ's not here with us right now is because I imagine that he's in a car full of Brunel players potentially going to the game right now, because that kicks off at 10:30 tomorrow. But I mean, again, two well-rounded teams for me that, it sounds so silly and so cliche when it comes to American football. The first team that will make a mistake will end up losing the game. That's where I see it. That's where I see it. Or I think obviously we're at the season's end now. I think it's mistakes and attrition for the Brunel versus Northumbria game. Has anyone got any other thoughts on D1, that D1 clash?
I think it's going to be a really, really good game, and it will all come down to which team. Sounds weird, but kind of which team can field their starting 22 for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if either team has depth issues at any point,
Yeah.
kind of that'll be the key. If you've got to dip in past your kind of starters, I think the other team will easily take advantage of it.
It's both teams that have faced tough competition all year, right? So like I think there's not going to be any of this worrying about them if they're down sort of
Yeah.
business with Brunel and Northumbria. But it's again what's great about these games is they are tough to call, and that's exactly what you want for a final. And again, I think it's mistakes and attrition is what's going to be that particular game. Now, moving on to the Premiership, that one I'm not so sure about, because on one side you've got SGS, who are a proven commodity here, and they're a proven commodity. They are good. We know they're good, right? But with Warwick, Warwick are one of the best teams to watch. Like, if you're going to watch one of them, watch Warwick versus SGS, because Warwick are so tricky and athletic, and they're it's they're athletic. They've got great technique and they've got great speed. And I think that potentially they may be able to. Obviously, SGS have got some of the best athletes in the country. Some of the best coaches in the country. But are you going to be prepared for the sort of, for lack of a better term, sort of the blitz of the entertaining, strange football that the Warwick Wolves play? So as much as we have all picked for SGS, and again, I don't feel bad about that, because again, it's still SGS. I
The
I'd love to see
disrespect.
I'd love to see a Warwick win here, and I think that they
Yeah.
can potentially do it. I'd love to see a Warwick win,
It's
because
it's
they're entertaining.
yeah. It's sort of a case of I'd love to pick for Warwick. They have complained about disrespect, which is fair, and it would be fair. Well, it'd be more fair if they'd complained about this more against any other team. If they'd been in the
Yeah.
comments screeching when you guys all picked Portsmouth, I'd have completely got that.
Yes,
But
I
SGS is
that I back. That I
yeah,
back, because it was egregious for us to pick Portsmouth over Warwick, given that Warwick are the Prem North champions. But the saying that we've disrespected them by picking SGS over them, yeah,
no,
I don't know about that. That to me doesn't really track, because
that's
it's
fair.
it's
This is what
it's
I mean,
it's
though. When
SGS.
you're playing a team who basically everyone there is there to play American football.
Yeah.
Like let's be real. They're not attending SGS for any other reason. If that makes sense. Like
No, it it, do-
you're
it
there
does
to play American football,
it
and
does make sense, and
I
it's
don't think it's disrespectful to say that any team would lose to that.
no, exactly. But I think Warwick might just be able to. It's going to sound harsh. I'm sure Coach might on my case. I think Warwick might be able to out scheme them and out trick them, and I think that it's possible that Warwick will play again. Very, very entertaining game. That's going to be the second one of the day. But Warwick it's going to be a good one. But for me, still, I'm going to go with the proven commodity as opposed to the unproven. But a Warwick one would be hilarious.
Yeah.
National final. We finally got a natty in this country, and we can call it the natty, and we don't have to look silly. Um, Am I crazy? I think the Gold can do it this year.
I mean,
Yes.
I predicted for the gold. I think I was the only one that did. I don't know. It's one of the things. Both games have been one-score games. Both games have been really tight, and
That's
it
that's
feels
exactly
like a coin flip.
that's exactly my point here. Is if this game, I don't expect it's going to be a blowout like we saw with the Durham Saints and the Bullets last year. I think it come down to one score, and I think if and I think the Gold could come out on the other side of that, and I think it really does paint a. I think obviously UE win fantastic. They've won that's their fourth in a row, right? Or
Yeah,
the first national championship, right? But I think it's more likely that Notts could win this than any other season for the last 3 years, not four, but three. The last 3 seasons, right? Obviously, couldn't win last year because of Durham. They it wasn't a good showing the year prior, but we're back in that 3 seasons ago point where it's pretty neck and neck for them. I feel anyway. I feel anyway, and I think had the time to plan for this. I think it's going to be a massive game. I think it kicks off at 7 p.m. Does the
yeah,
national final, but again, I don't think it's crazy to think. Obviously, I have picked for the Bullets because again, you go with the proven commodity as opposed to the unproven. But it wouldn't surprise me here if Nottingham Gold walk away with this, but not by a lot, not by a lot at all. I don't think that's crazy to really say. Anyone got anything else for national?
No.
No,
All I'll say is neither teams look as good as they have done in the past.
no, but I think they're more closer
yeah.
to. They're more
Well,
equal
I
now.
think if this was UWE's squad from last year, it
No,
wouldn't
yeah, but
really
yeah,
be a question.
yes, it's different. It's different gravy.
Yeah.
It's
So
different
also
gravy.
I just want to say they make really, really terrible TikToks. So just feel I need to put that on record. They're horrendous.
So I mean, this sort of it. I mean, this week after the national final, we're going to start posting out the nominees for the Rundown Awards, which will come at you next week, and then that'll be the last rundown of the year. Will be the one on the 24th, and then Sunday it will be Oxford Brooks versus Plymouth Blitz, and then that will be the Uniball season done from us. So at 10:20 tomorrow, me and Cam are going to be on. We're going to be on all day watching, having some delicious beverages, and I mean that's it. That's
What
it.
kind
Haven't
of
you
your
got a
drink of
beverage to
choice?
drink, Cam?
Huh?
Haven't you got a beverage to drink right now?
Oh, I don't actually think they're here.
No, I don't think
So
they're here either. Is anyone from
I might.
actually? But before we go, is anyone from Plymouth Blitz watching? Comment if you're from Plymouth Blitz. You got a couple of minutes.
Who's aware of what's happening at least.
Yeah,
If not, I'll have to save it till tomorrow.
favorite. Is SGS
So,
Warwick streamed? It certainly is. It will be on the Bucks YouTube channel. They'll
but yeah,
all
There'll be
three.
top tier commentary.
Yeah, so that they're all
so
being streamed. I don't know what time SGS versus Warwick kicks off though. I know what the other two kick off, so I imagine it's somewhere. It's between 10:30 and 7 p.m. It's been like it started. So,
I actually don't know what I'm drinking tomorrow.
well, we'll find out.
I think I've got a case of White Claws, so I might have to
Oh
wet my way
Christ!
through them.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the penultimate rundown. Again, a nice, quick, short one to the point. Tomorrow, 10:20. Come back here. We'll be on Instagram all day long. Good games happening this weekend. No games on Sunday. Rundown Awards coming at you on Monday next week. Plymouth Bliss versus Oxford Brooks on the 30th. And throughout this week, pay attention to the social media for our Sport Tank Award nominees. And next week, well, it's the goodbye to the 24-25 season. I've been Tebs for this nice short edition of the Rundown. Cam is there. He'll be with me tomorrow. Jamie, are you going to come on tomorrow for a little bit?
I'll come and show my face at some point.
Come on for a little bit. Join us tomorrow. Watch the games. Have fun. We will see you in a bit. Raw's starting. I need to go.